There are what might be graves sitting dangerously close to the edge of this cliff, but when these burials supposedly took place in the early 1800s, this wasn't the edge at all. The edge has been eroding constantly, and every year the edge recedes further. The Trull family were one of the first to arrive in the area back in 1794. They lived along the lake here, and according to local accounts, may have buried some of their dead here too. But here's the problem. By the mid-1800s, the family had already established a proper family cemetery further northwest. So if there were burials here, why leave them behind? The Trull Cemetery became the main resting place for the family going forward, a safer, more permanent location.
Here we are at the Trull Cemetery. Arthur Trull, born 1868, died 1881. Edith Trull, born 1872, died 1875. Alonzo Trull, born 1867, died in 1867.
But if burials did exist here, they were left on land that's been eroding for over 200 years. The cliff recedes nearly 6 inches per year, which means what was once safe ground would now be much closer to the edge, maybe even gone entirely, and that's where this gets odd. Down near the cliff's edge, there's a small grouping of rocks, roughly arranged in a square, and they sit about 20 feet from the edge of the cliff, out of place.
And there's this interesting formation that was obviously man-made, a grouping of rocks. And I was told the cemetery is also near the lake, near the lake's edge, so could this be a burial? Certainly possible. And if you want to see how close we are to the lake, there's the cliff's edge. And it's pretty high right here. Okay, just over there is that grouping of stones. And if you get closer to the crest, the edge of the cliff, there's another grouping of stones here, which is interesting. And to get an idea how high up we are, there's the edge. And there's Darlington Power Plant, right over there.
I was told there were burials here, but there's no marker, no confirmed record, just this. So the question is this actually connected to early burials, or is it something else entirely? Because just beyond this area, there's another detail, a patch of woods shaped like a triangle. The shape lines up with an old driveway, once connecting this lot with what is now Craigo Road and the CN rail line. The forest filled in, but the outline is still there, and inside sits the foundation of the old Trull's barn, with old junk cars left behind, slowly disappearing into the trees.
I just found the Trull's barn foundation, and it's almost like a car graveyard as well, because look what I've just found. I see there's others, and there's this one too. That's a Plymouth. Definitely fallen apart there into the forest. There's as close as I'm going to get at the Trull's barn. There's a skunk in there, and I can already smell it. It's already released something, so I better be careful. There's another car right there. The skunk is in there spying on me. I'm not going to harm him, so he better not harm me. But there's a close-up of the blue car. There's the dashboard and the steering wheel. And of course the rest of the foundation is just over there. Here's the old well on the property. If you look down, you can still see the water. But it's a good idea to cover these back up completely, so no one falls in or no animal falls in and can't get back out. There we go. Here is the old laneway of the old Trull's pioneer property. And a train's going by. And up here is where it went to, and this is the laneway that provided the angle for the triangle that you see from the air.
Sadly, now this entire area is on borrowed time. With development planned here, everything in the woods could be erased.